Is Alice on board?
Because it is unsafe.
Alice is on board. Alice is in the house.
Hi, Alice.
I don't care who she is.
Ready?
It's gonna blow.
Call to order the Borough of Crafton regular meeting Monday, January 25th, 2016, 7 p.m. I'm sorry, 7:15, sorry. With the flag salute, Ms. Downs.
Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Amendola?
Here.
Ms. Glasser? Ms. Dammit? Here. Mr. O'Brien?
Here.
Ms. Perry? Mr. Lavasser?
Here.
Ms. Amendola?
Here.
Mayor Bloom?
Here.
Solicitor Gladys?
Here.
Engineer Strunk?
Here.
Public Works Director Kazarovski.
Here.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the bill list dated January 25th, 2016.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, all in favor, any questions?
Actually, I have one question.
Okay.
The elite runners at the end,
What page are you on?
page 7.
Page 7. Where are we looking, right here?
Yeah. Yeah, the elite runners race management, I guess. Firecracker 5K down here.
That's for Crafton Celebrates.
Oh, okay. It's just for having some break. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's for the, they do a
We
5K
write
in
the
the
checks.
morning?
Okay.
Right, we
Okay.
write all the checks, we maintain the books, but it's their monies. That Susan O'Connell is the treasurer, but we write all the checks and we have them approved.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from January 11th, 2016.
So moved.
Did I hear you say second? Did you say second?
She said second.
Okay. Moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And now we will move on to special information.
Keith is here from Senator Fontana's office in Mary.
Keith, how do you pronounce your last name?
Wayner?
So Keith Wayner is going to present to Mary Tremblay, our borough secretary who is retired after 18 years of service.
Right here is
Okay.
perfect. We have you on camera.
Great.
Okay.
This is their recognition certificate from the Pennsylvania State Senate, presented to Mary Tremblay. A strong Commonwealth of Pennsylvania depends upon the success of local governments in serving all citizens in a variety of ways. On behalf of Crafton Borough, Mary Tremblay has diligently served citizens with integrity and fidelity for nearly 20 years. In the roles of Assistant Borough Secretary and Borough Secretary, Mary has provided the highest quality of service. Her tireless efforts include overseeing the day-to-day operations of the borough, supervision of the borough's budget, attending and recording council meetings, preserving the borough's records and documents, and providing many of the administrative duties that allows the borough to function. A true public servant performs many duties which are often described as, quote, thankless. Mary, through her thankless work, has made Crafton Borough a better place in which to live and work and has earned the admiration of our Commonwealth. Now therefore, Senator Wayne D. Fontana does recognize your contribution and wishes you continued success and happiness in the future, and on behalf of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, thanks you for your service.
Thank you, Keith. And then State Representative Dan Deasy presented to Mary on Friday, but the mayor's going to present it tonight at the meeting. His resolution.
This presentation here is from State Rep Dan Deasy, who represents our district in Pennsylvania, and I'll read the following. Whereas the House of Representatives of Pennsylvania is always proud to acknowledge those individuals who, through professional excellence, bring great credit to themselves and this Commonwealth. And whereas Mary Tremblay is being honored upon her January 29th, 2016 retirement after 28 years of dedicated service to Borough of Grafton. Whereas Ms. Tremblay began her career with the Borough of Grafton in a part-time capacity, and she became a full-time assistant manager on February 26, 1998. Later promoted to secretary, she supervised budgets, oversaw day-to-day operations, attended recorded council meetings, preserved the record and documents of the borough. Throughout her service, Ms. Tremblay has demonstrated remarkable knowledge, ability, and integrity in carrying out her many responsibilities, thus earning the respect and gratitude of all those who receive the benefit of her tireless devotion to duty. Now therefore, the House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania congratulates Mary Tremblay upon her well-deserved retirement, heartily recognizes her exemplary record of service, and in keeping with the highest ideals and traditions of this Commonwealth, offers the best wishes for happy, fulfilling retirement. And directs that a copy of this citation, sponsored by Honorable Dan Deasy, January 8, 2016, be transmitted to Mary Tremblay. Congratulations.
I usually don't speak at this meeting.
Well, it's your turn. You got the floor.
I just want to say, over the past almost 20 years, I've met so many residents of Grafton, and most of them were in good situations, a couple complainers here and there, but it was just terrific working with people of Grafton. I've made so many friends, and I plan to be here a long time to come, and I'm sure I'm going to be seeing everybody, you know, it's an ongoing day-to-day thing, Giant Eagle or wherever, and I'm going to miss it, but I'm going to rest. Thanks.
And now the mayor is going to have a special swearing in of our newest police officer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Officer Brian McCulley. He's our newest hire that we hired. He started back, what day?
January 4th.
January, thank you very much. January 4th. He'll be around for many, many years to come. This is a ceremonial swearing in as he was sworn in on his official opening day. Brian, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Brian D. Tully,
I, Brian D. Tully,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United
the
States,
Constitution of this Commonwealth,
the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge my duties
and that I will discharge my duties
as a police officer with Grafton Borough Police Department, as a police officer with the Grafton Borough Police
as a
Department,
police officer with the Grafton Borough Police Department,
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
That's it. Congratulations. Welcome.
Now we'll move on to, thank you,
Thank you.
our citizens' comments regarding agenda items. Okay, there are no. Okay. We'll move on then to acknowledge the receipt of written reports, the treasurer's report, the financial reports, the Act 511, the trash collection reports, the property tax collection report, the police report, the EMS report, the ordinance officer's report, the building inspection report, and public works report, including the 2015 annual police department report. Moving on then to the mayor's report.
Just a quick item tonight that the Grafton Borough Police Department has established a Facebook page, and would like the citizens that maybe they're on Facebook to get on there and log in, become a member. That way you can get crime watch reports and police reports that are being put out, and you can enter, how do I want to say this? Comments that, that your kids can read. And so that's what we need to do. So you guys that are on Facebook, please check out the new Grafton Police Department, Borough Police Department website. Thank you.
Who maintains that page?
One of the police officers, Washinsky, was maintaining it.
I was just
Washinsky.
asking, who maintains the page?
Officer Molo and Lashinsky.
Yeah.
Okay, then, moving on to the president's report. Last meeting, we did not appoint the committee chairs, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that now that I've had an opportunity to speak with everyone. So for public safety, it will remain Fred Amendola. The zoning and planning will go to Phil Lavasser. Parks and Recreations will be Alice Glosser. Administration is gonna be Marcia Damitz. Finance is gonna be Carlotta Perry. And comprehensive planning is going to be Dave O'Brien. And then I will stick with the public works. There is one more committee that we need to appoint, and that is the Allegheny County Boroughs Association and Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs Association. And I need a delegate and an alternate, and so, Mr. Amendola, I was hoping that you could do that. And then Alice would be your alternate. They do meet monthly, and I think it would be good. We've never actually attended a meeting in the past, so I think it would be good for our presence to be there.
Okay.
Moving on then to the engineer's report.
All right, thanks. I'm gonna go a little out of order. I'm gonna go A, B, D, then C.
Okay?
So starting off with the swimming pool renovations, January 8th, they poured the concrete decking. At this point, the pool's gonna be completed in the spring. They can't, I think I mentioned last month, they can't place the pool surface until it's 60 degrees and rising. So at this point, we're probably in a hold period until the spring. But the project's still on target for completion date, and so that's the latest on the splash pool. Any questions on that? Okay. Next one here, we got joint O&M point repair project. We are we are finishing this contract. In fact, this is the final pay application. Along with this is the dig repairs for the sewer project. The next one, we are developing that. For this year, we will be in year 5, shake call contract as well. And then we do have one more lining repair left this year, and that'll be done tomorrow. So then we'll be done with the 2015 contracts. So that's the latest on that, and like I said, we're developing the 2016 contracts right now. And then 217 Lincoln demolition. We are waiting at this point from word from Char West that we can hold a pre-con meeting and get this contractor kicked off. So I talked to Char West last week, and they said it should be coming any week now. So just waiting to hear. So at that point, we'll have the pre-con meeting and get them going. Keep you posted on that progress.
Okay.
Then last year is the 2016 road program. We actually met today, Rob, Ann, and I, to review the program. So we've come up with a list of streets, and I think we're pretty close to the budget. What we used for the estimated repair costs are what the PASER program. The PASER is the 5-year maintenance program, if you remember, that we put together. And we pulled these streets straight from there. So it has a PASER rating. The lower the rating, the worse the streets are. So we pulled these right from there and kind of backed into our budget. So with that, we're able to, what we have on here, and obviously this is just preliminary. We can talk about this. We have 3 reconstruction projects, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mill and pave, And then we also have a budget in there for the Foster and Linden CDBG handicap ramps. That's the $15,000 we got from the county. We initially had a budget in there of about $50,000 to $55,000, but we think we can do it for less. So we think the borough share will be about 20, total project of about $35,000 because we get 15 from the county. So that's in the budget, that's in the road program budget. And then also we put in a $30,000 handicap ramp allowance with the streets that we have already planned. So at this point, we haven't designed anything yet, so we don't know exactly what handicap ramps will need to be upgraded and all that. So all that's in here. We have a 10% contingency for costs. But I don't know, and do we want to actually go over what streets we're talking about, or?
If you like, that's,
Okay. All right, so what we have down here is Walnut Street from Dinsmore to McMunn. That's a brick street, that'd be a complete reconstruction. So that brick would come out and we'd be paving it. So, and then we have Haldane Avenue from Dinsmore to McMunn as well. That would be a complete reconstruction. We have Harris Avenue from Bar Street to Alley D. That would be complete reconstruction. So those three would be completely tearing the street out, putting new base down, asphalt, and then we'd have to talk about the curbs, which we'll get there in a minute. Then we have Locust Street from Marion to the dead end. That's a mill and pave. We have Morton Street from North Emily to Harrison. That's a mill and pave. We have Rogers Street from Sarah to Lawson. That's a mill and pave. We have Sycamore from Fountain to Chartiers. That's a mill and pave. And then we have Steuben Street from Union to Noble. That's a short piece that Crafton owns and maintains between the state road and the county road. So if you guys are, I think we've talked about that. So Crafton owns like a block, basically. And that project would be run through PennDOT. We would pay PennDOT back for the quantities that we used. So so we backed into a budget. Actually it worked out pretty well. We're at about $499,000. I believe there's $500,000 this year. Obviously this is a preliminary cost still. We want to get, once we know exactly the scope, we'll actually do a much more thorough engineer's estimate on this. The one thing that I did want to talk about is in the reconstruction portion of it, the concrete curbs, I guess from what Rob was saying, I've not driven, but the curbs, especially on Walnut Street, are in bad shape, and they need to be completely replaced. So we can do one or two things. We can put back concrete curb, but the cost would be about $40,000 to $50,000 which is pretty expensive. Or we could put back asphalt curb, which would be about $8,000. So I don't think there's a lot of asphalt curb in Crafton. That's something we wanted to talk about, if you guys would be okay with going that route or not. So it would save a lot of money on those three streets if we. I'm not sure how the curbs on Harris. Do you know? Do you remember?
Well, the one section of Harris is gonna be from this borough line, the Bar Avenue will be a mill pave. That's an unapproved street with no
That
curbs or
portion, of it,
sidewalks.
right? Yeah.
So the brick portion would be reconstruction from Alley D to the intersection of Bar Avenue.
Right.
So that, my recommendation would that be concrete curves put back in because there is existing concrete curbs for that portion.
But that's more of a spot repair, right?
Right.
That's not a complete, yeah.
For that section on Harris where there is existing curbs. The Walnut Street situation is one that is an option. You could take a look at a machine-factured wedge curb, not something that's put in by hand, but actually attachment to the paving machine that can put in a asphalt wedge curb, or you can pay the cost and put in the concrete curbs for that section of Walnut. And we're talking about the section from Dinsmore to McMunn. The other section would be phase 2, which will be done next year. Obviously, the section going up to the dead end is just as bad shape as Walnut coming in from McMunn to Dinsmore. But in fairness to try and spread the budget out, we discussed doing it in 2 phases. So Walnut from there's more to McMunn, and then from McMunn to the then in the 2017 budget. And it's up for discussion, the wedge, asphalt wedge curb or the concrete curb being put back into place. That's why we're doing that.
I was gonna ask about the architectural on the landscape context. You know, would the asphalt curves detract from the neighborhood, or has there been any input from the residents?
We just had a discussion today. It's the first one's bringing the council, the first it was discussed between the manager and the engineer and myself today. It's gonna be total reconstruction, so the depth of the street, I mean, you're gonna be able to put those wedge curbs in and reconstruct the street, and really the curbs, their main thing is to direct stormwater. The aesthetics of a wedge curb that's put in professionally with a paving machine is something that is, the appearance and aesthetics are really the same as concrete. You're not gonna lose any value to your property with the type of asphalt wedge curb that is put in with the attachment to the paver. It's done professionally, and it,
Continuity wise, will make it look good for the residents, they'll
Sure,
they'll
and
feel
it's-
comfortable with that.
it's not like us coming in and doing it by hand and putting a hand raked in asphalt curb. This is something that's done with an attachment to the paving machine.
Yeah.
Would it hold up?
They'll last as long as the street lasts, 8 to 10 years. Obviously, the integrity of the asphalt is only as good as the asphalt material itself. And you get 8 to 10 years out of an asphalt street.
And concrete one?
Concrete street, you're gonna get 10 to 20 years out of it. But I mean, that's something to look at, and we put concrete back into it. Right now, Walnut Street went up with a complaint because there was a sink and a dip hole, and somebody had damaged their vehicle. We went up to take the brick and replace it with some slag for this time of the year, and we found out that underneath the brick was a lot of clay. And that's not a good sub-base for us to construct a street. So, I mean, concrete street's gonna be an option. I mean, the rate the asphalt is now with the oil index cost being as low as they are now, asphalt is gonna be probably a good bargain. A concrete street, you can probably ask the engineer to get us quotes, or we can work on quotes for a concrete street to replace it, but it's gonna be a lot more expensive than asphalt.
What about the curbs, you know?
Well, it's gonna be probably 6 times as much to put the concrete curbs in.
They will last longer if that's what you're, the concrete curbs will definitely last longer. It's hard to say exactly how long, but generally you're gonna get 20+
Oh,
years, depending if they're constructed right. Yeah.
May I ask a question? Has there been discussion of lifting bricks and re-bricking again of any of the streets? I know the cost would be all probably very prohibitive, but
We have
what's the future on that?
We're gonna do some spot repairs in-house. Obviously, it's not gonna be full, street repairs. We have a few locations, one up on Bar, one on Stotts, one on Crandall, that we're planning to do in-house, and spot repairs where you have some dips in the streets and try to fix the continuity of the cartway. As far as full street restoration with brickwork, we haven't discussed that as far as the manager or the engineer.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, last time we checked into that, the bricks were so thin you couldn't reuse them anyway. But they're, and what you buy now aren't gonna hold up as well as the ones that are there.
Typically, you put a concrete base down now when they put in brick streets.
You can put an asphalt or a brick base.
Yeah. And how much brick do we have in the store yard?
We have plenty of brick for repairs. I mean, as far as reconstruction of streets, I mean, obviously you're gonna use what you have in place. And I've actually been approached by different contractors that are looking to purchase brick. The quote that he gave me wasn't a fair price to the borough, so I rejected it. But there is the option to seek out some of these vendors to see if we can cut the cost of the reconstruction of the street, to see if they'll do the removal of the brick. They take it, they can have it, and it'll save us the cost of actually doing the brick. It's something to discuss and look into, but there's different possibilities for us to go in and find a more, I guess, cost savings way to do the brick removal of like walnut helving. So there's a couple options. We can look to these vendors. I say you take the brick out and do the brick removal, we can have it. Will save us some money in the reconstruction of the street with the removal. Something we can look into.
You had mentioned about Noble, the portion of Noble that we're gonna do. Are we doing it because the state is doing the other portion? I mean, of Steuben, I'm sorry, of Steuben. So they're doing the rest of Steuben as well?
Yep.
Okay.
They're doing it all up to the borough.
Right, on, you'll see on the bottom, there's, road, oh no, that's the handicap. Where is this Steuben? That's all in there, at 43,000.
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
because that includes the 21,000 that we have to pay for our portion on Steuben Street as
Okay.
well.
Okay. Any other questions for the engineer?
I did just want to mention that CDBG, the CHICAG just sent me a fax on Friday afternoon to tell us that we applied for, the project was 62,000 for Foster and Linden CDBG handicap ramps. We only got 15. So we talked about it today, and the Public Works is going to do a lot of the sidewalk work, and then the contractor will do the, that's concrete as well. They'll do the engineered design handicap ramp. So we can bring the project down, but it's still $15,000 toward a project, even though we applied for 52, we got 15.
Wow.
But it's still $15,000 to do the work.
Thank you.
Can I ask one question? Is there anywhere we could go and look at some asphalt curbs and see what they look like?
Yeah.
Where could we go?
Willard?
Yeah, it's,
Mount Lebanon?
did they put them on Willard?
Willard?
Yes,
Yeah.
the
And those are
Willard.
like 2 years old, 2 or 3 years old?
Yeah, they're about 3 years old now.
You go around Willard. and-
Oh, yeah.
It's actually a good segue. I was gonna ask, did you guys get to touch base on the subject of the bottom of Willard, the intersection of Willard and Clearview, to see if that was covered under the road bond with the way they had paved that and the basically the contour issues?
Yeah, we've discussed it, like I would say, preliminary discussion with it. And Gateway's looking into doing a study on it to see exactly what's going on with the vehicles, what and not.
Yeah.
So they're looking into it.
Okay, I did get an email from Alberto, and I'll forward that to you.
I forwarded it along to him.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I
Take a
thought
look
I
at it
forwarded
if
it
you have
to you.
questions.
But the bond is over. It
The bond
was a
is
2-year
over.
bond. I
Okay.
do recall that. But I'll forward you the email that Phil sent me from Alberto to describe the project, but the bond is up, I can tell you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Moving on then to the solicitor's report.
2 items. 96 Noble was an attempt to take down a dilapidated house. There was a status conference held with the judge on January 13, 2016. And the homeowner, the original homeowner is deceased. He died without a will, so he has a bunch of heirs in line to take over the property. Some of those heirs got together and put some money into this house apparently, and did some rehab, such that at this point, the judge ordered, excuse me, that there be a building inspection by February 12th by the borough's building inspector, and we're supposed to report back to the judge. Apparently they did some roof work, some structural work, and I myself was not at the conference, at the conciliation. It was the prior solicitor. I will say that in most cases, when a matter like this gets to court, the judge is going to bend over backward to let the property owner hold on to the property, and that's apparently what's happening here. I'll know more when I get the actual files from the prior solicitor. Questions?
Dan Felton is gonna contact him, the Calabrese family on Wednesday when he comes in to try and get that arranged.
Okay, and you'll let me know, right?
Pardon me?
You'll let me know, because I have to get back.
Oh, yeah, I'll let you know, but
Okay.
he has to get it scheduled with them,
Yeah.
so.
Well,
And he's only here Wednesday mornings and Friday mornings, but Dan's pretty flexible if, he has to come in a different day.
we should document, have Dan document whatever attempts he makes to get a hold of these people, because who knows, maybe they're gonna play avoidance. And we do have to get back to the judge. Any other questions? The second matter on the solicitor's report is the chicken ordinance, which apparently has been floating on the agenda for quite some time, and I wasn't quite sure how far along you all had gotten on that. But I have a draft model ordinance. I have hard copies here this evening, and I'll provide them by email if you guys wanted my email instead. And I have a list of issues to consider for such ordinances. Can I ask how far along we were on this before?
Just really to authorize the solicitor to begin preparing. I prepared a draft ordinance from the city of Pittsburgh and from Edgewood, just gathered some documents and forwarded to them, and basically that was about all that we've done.
Okay.
We were gonna allow for chickens to, within like so many lineal feet of property, you had to have so much, square feet of property, so that's really what all we discussed.
Okay, well, how about this as a means forward? I'll send, for anyone that wants a hard copy of the model ordinance this evening, I have copies. I'll forward all the members of council email copies with a list of issues, and maybe we can talk about it at the next meeting. Any questions?
I was gonna say, in your draft document, you specify hens.
Hens only.
Hens only.
Hens only, and that's one, there are a number of issues as to what species you're gonna have, what sex you're gonna have, how much space you're gonna have, and a number of sort of legal issues about permitting. I don't know how deep you want to get into regulating. You can go as far as having fees, applications, requiring people to take classes before they can have chickens.
Well, I invite the community to come next meeting. So,
Well,
or residents to come to the next meeting to hear the discussion.
was there any particular person that wanted the chicken ordinance?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And they did come to a meeting, and the people that supply the chickens to them appeared, they spoke for quite a lengthy amount, explaining that you can't just have one chicken, you have to have 2 chickens, and it has to come in 2s, and they're all hens, and how many eggs they produce, and that kind of thing. So they did provide a presentation. That was October or November of last year.
There are a number of local organizations that are involved in this movement, and I've heard one of their presentations, and maybe we can make some progress here.
Okay. Thank you. Moving on then to the business agenda, I'll entertain a motion to authorize to advertise for the summer recreation and public works employment.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? I'll also entertain a motion to authorize we've already advertised, we're just appointing?
We need to appoint a committee to do the interviews, myself and then whoever would be available to, Marcia, if you would be available to do.
So we don't really need to do a motion for that.
No, we don't need
We're
to.
just gonna appoint a committee to schedule an interview. So did we get more than the one?
Yes, we have 4 now.
Excellent,
So,
okay.
if you want to give me a call, we can figure out a date. I'd like to move it on.
Is there anyone in particular that would like to be involved in the interviews?
I would, but I don't know if I'll be there. You probably would want to wrap it up before I get back in April.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. She could possibly do the interviews via Skype if you weren't
We'd
gonna,
have
you
to
gonna
do
do them
it,
as
yeah.
a team or not?
No, that one, I don't think that would be
Okay.
the best one for a person to interview personally.
Fred, did I hear you say that you would?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll get involved in it.
okay.
I'm around.
All right, well, then Marcia and I will pick a date and then we'll make
Yeah.
sure you're good with it, is that
Okay.
okay?
Yeah.
Will you give me a call tomorrow?
Yeah, see what best is evening or people or.
Well, we could do it at like 3 o'clock in the
Okay,
afternoon
good.
too. You know,
Thank
I mean,
you.
start it then, and then maybe about 20 minutes.
People, yeah.
So,
Okay.
you can give me
Yeah.
a couple days.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the payment application number 4 to Stone Ridge Incorporated in the amount of $17,286.92 for the swimming pool splash pad pool project as recommended by the engineer.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? I'll entertain a motion to authorize payment request number 4 and final for the joint O&M repair project year 4 in the amount of $40,101.90 payable to Shaycog as recommended by the engineer.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? I'll entertain a motion to authorize the engineer to begin preparing plans and specifications for the 2016 road program in accordance with the 2016 adopted budget not to exceed $500,000 in total construction costs.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second, any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Can I just make one note?
Mhm.
Maybe Phil will get a price for both. I could have an alternate bid A and maybe like an alternate bid B.
With concrete
And with concrete versus the
wedge
asphalt wedge curb, and then see what the difference in price is.
Yeah.
Would that be okay for our council, and then we can look at the difference in the price?
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yep, I can do that.
You're gonna need a bid for a wedge curb, the section of Harris anyhow.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Plus, we're gonna need it for Foster and Linden, so we're gonna have to include that, so it'll, it's just another line item, in the bid, so. Okay?
And we have an announcement. Representative Dan Deasy and Crafton Borough are hosting a shred event on Saturday, April 23rd at Crafton Park. Can you shed some light on what the shred event
This
is?
guy can shred some light up. Any type of documents, papers, I guess the last time they did it with electronics, and it was crazy. So now that we take electronics like televisions in the regular refuse, they're just doing a shred event, and it's mostly just papers and things like that you want to shred. They do it for free at Crafton Park. Public Works will work with doing the heavy equipment, but
So you, as a resident, bring your items to the park
bring your items and
to
then
be shred?
they'll all be shred. So you usually do like bank statements, older tax returns, things you know that you don't want your identity on there or numbers or things like that, and they shred it all.
So is this on our website as well? this
Yes.
event? Okay, so is there a list of like what to bring, what not to bring? Or is it just
I'm
paper?
waiting for the flyer from DC's office, they're preparing the flyer.
Okay.
So as soon as I get the flyer, I'll make sure that we post the building and stuff like that. But I spoke with Jolie on Friday, and she said that has to come through the state, so through Harrisburg.
Moving on then to public safety, I will entertain a motion to adopt resolution number 2016-02 and the Allegheny County 2015 Hazard Mitigation Plan as the official mitigation plan of the Borough of Crafton.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second, any discussion?
I just want to make note that this document is over 400 pages. It's a very comprehensive document. Our Chief Sumter was on the committee, and Michael Baker International Corps did a great job with the committee members, and I think it's a document that the county and the borough can be proud to be associated with. So encourage everybody to look at it. It tells you a lot about the county, tells you a lot about the hazards associated with living in Western Pennsylvania, and it just is very enlightening, so I encourage our residents to go online and look it up. And it's something that will definitely take a few evenings for you to review, but you'll be better for it. And I think everybody here should review it because it is a very comprehensive document.
Thank you. Any further discussion? No further discussion, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I'll entertain a motion to authorize payment of tax refunds from the general fund and road tax fund in the amount of $1,607.58.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Moving on then to comprehensive plan. Were you at this meeting?
I was, and so was
Dave, was
Mr.
it-
O'Brien, and Mr. Lasser was also there as well.
Okay, Dave, did you want to speak to anything from that meeting?
I just wanted to update the public a little bit on where the process is. They had two public meetings, one in Ingram and one in Grafton, and there's been a couple of steering committee meetings. And basically, Paschak Associates, they're individuals, they're doing behind-the-scenes work, pulling as much information together from residents, from interviews, studying the different communities, and pulling all this information. And now we're sort of getting a clearer picture about the uniqueness of Grafton and Ingram, but also some similarities in issues that we were confronted with, and the possibility of working together to solve some problems, that would benefit both of us. That's it.
Thank you. Did you want to add anything?
No, we had a good showing of people, and it was pretty well covered. I mean, it's a pretty diverse group, and it was pretty good meeting. I mean, had some good thoughts and ideas, and Patrick will come up with a proposed plan for the implementable plan. That's the most important. I guess a lot of communities get comprehensive plans done, and nobody is able to implement. So this is going to be an implementable plan, and whether it's to do work done in Grafton Ingram Shopping Center, which seems to be the most discussed topic. There's a lot of ideas that we can try and get to work with the business owners down there. So it's a good meeting.
And the next meeting then is Tuesday, March 22nd, and that is going to be held at the Ingram Borough Building.
Yeah, and I don't know if Mr. Lasser wanted to say anything?
I think we've discussed all the high points. We're gonna have to work with Ingram and look at what's really possible with our budgets. And I'm very excited to see what Paschak Associates has up their sleeve, to see what we could both work together. And one of the other discussion points was the fire department. And though that wasn't part of the conversation, it was part of the overarching theme, which is how can Grafton and Ingram work together as two communities and really bring value and look at economies of scale and figure out what shared services could be in our future. And that's something that both communities need to seriously consider as we move forward in the decades ahead of us.
Thank you. I don't believe that there are, nobody signed up, but are there any additional citizens' comments now not related to the agenda items? No citizens' comments? I will entertain a motion then to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Okay, Alice.